Yo, bro, this is motherfucking Shmoney God. People call me Ali Money or something like that. Alucard Money, Zombie Zillion. But you can just call me. I'm not gonna say my legal name on here just because it's YouTube. But basically, I'm gonna basically say like when you're on this monk mode, semen retention, uh, low key. Some people want to say it's incel retention or something like that. uh, when you choose the path of celibacy, you have to cope and focus on yourself as much as possible because I feel like if you're just sitting in bed, laying down all day, if you're not active, you're not doing anything mentally, you're not doing any growth in your life, you're basically going to fall back into temptation. And one temptation I really do not want to fall back to is watching porn, especially. I would rather, not suffer than not watch porn because when you're like, when you're not really doing anything with your life, when you are, stuck in the mix, you're not focusing on yourself, you tend to fall, oh man, I'm gonna go fuck bitches. You start chasing girls. You start, doing like other things that you shouldn't be doing, um, going into bad habits. And that's why, like, especially on like semen retention, and celibacy, like you just gotta cope as much as you can. And what I mean by this is like you gotta like keep active as much as possible. Like I'll be just making music, uh, just freestyling every song that I make. Just doing me making these videos on YouTube because I got nothing else really better to do. Because if I don't do anything, if I just sit there in bed all day and not do shit, I'm gonna start touching myself. I'm gonna think about, you know, hollering. I start thinking about my ex-girlfriend. I start, getting all horny and stuff. And to avoid that, you gotta cope. You gotta do things. Like anytime that urges, you gotta just get up and do something else. It doesn't even have to be working out. It just could be, looking into stocks, you know, um, talking to your family or something, or talking to a friend, going to work, working overtime, doing other things that are gonna make you happy in this life. You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't do anything, like you're just gonna fall back into those temptations. Like I'll be just going and getting tattoos. I'll be going to the gym. I'll be just making music. Playing video games. Enjoying my life because this celibacy. And the reason why I'm on celibacy is because I just feel like in this moment of my life, like I lose a lot of energy when I release, all that drive and all that masculine power and all that, like that kind of stuff, right? It goes away, it's not as sharp, I notice even like when I go to the gym, I'm not lifting as much. I can't even run to the bus. I remember there was this bus, waiting there, and I relapsed the day before, and I couldn't even run to the bus. My legs were so weak, and that's what I like about semen retention is that you have a lot of strength. A lot of your mind is clear, you're sharp, you're stoic, you're masculine, and that's just what I like. I don't like feeling weak, because I've been weak for way too long, and it's just that you have to cope as much as you can when you're on the semen retention journey. And lust really ruined my life. Like there was a time in my life where uh, I had nothing to do. I had no job, nothing. I think I was like maybe 18 or 19 years old, and all I did was just sit down for 2 months, just sit down and watch porn. That's all I did, like 9 times a day. I got nothing done. I was depressed. I was drinking every day, smoking cigarettes every day. I quit smoking cigarettes. I barely drink. Well, no one cares. But basically, what I'm trying to say is like if that's your goal, like I was just doing so much better in life when I was on long streaks of SR. You know what I mean? That's just what I can say about it. Your skin looks better. You gain muscle. Everything goes good. And like that one summer, like that's a summer that I really like hate myself in. Like I really still look back at that time and during summer, like what was I doing with my life? You know what I mean? Like like I was so pathetic at that time, man. And it's just like it is what it is, but I didn't have any. It's a past. I can't do anything about it. Just feel sorry about it and just move on and just upgrade in your life. Don't let it hold you back or make you feel ashamed because there's anything you can't do shit about it. You know what I mean? Like fuck it. What can I do? I can't go back and like do all that weird shit. Again. I don't want to go back to that version of me. But definitely, I'm back to being the only because semen retention really helped me get through that. that dark phase of my life. And now, I've been falling short a little bit, but not as much as before. But basically, like, I feel like in semen retention, like, you gotta really cope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta do things. Like, go take yourself out. Go, I don't know, go and just get out the house or something. Just go somewhere. Go to the gym. Talk to some people. Try to make some friends or something. Because when you stay on like when you stay in the house all day or whatever, you start going on your phone. You start, when you're not actively trying to do something, you're not trying to act, you're not trying to activate growth. You're just gonna run into a dead end. Like, I'd be just making music for fun or whatever. I'd be just playing video games and stuff to keep my hands occupied. Anytime that I feel any urges, that's what I do. I just look for growth in my life. That's why I'm making these videos. Exactly. I'm a broken record. I had to say it again. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I recommend, if you're on this journey, just try to do anything that's other than sex or semen. Just cook yourself something anytime it urges you. You don't even have to like get up and work out. You can just go outside for a walk or whatever. You just have to do anything else. You have to tell your mind no and just focus on something else, because it's about the choices you make. You know what I'm saying? I made like 2 fire songs today, and I'll be listening to it. I enjoy that shit. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'm gonna make a nice album cover. I'm not gonna be lazy, and ask ChatGPT to make me an album. I'm just gonna, pop up with an album or something, or not even an album, just a song cover. But you can't be lazy on this stuff, man. You have to cope. You have to do things to, make yourself, feel good. You have to just do things, for fun. You have to do things that other than relates to sex. And even if when you sit there with that energy and a long time of semen retention, it turns into a lot of anger and your impulses get really bad. That's why I'd be just like, making music, going on walks, talking to old friends of mine and shit. But other than that, man, you gotta cope on this journey as much as you can. You gotta focus on yourself as much as you can, because if you don't, you're gonna fall short.